I get a goal. You get a goal. We all get a goal. Flyers blitz the Capitals with 8 goals to wind up winning the game 8-2 in the home opener. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrick Glynn, and welcome back to the channel. As the Flyers come away with an 8-2 blitzing of the Washington Capitals last night at the Wells Fargo Center in a home opener. What a hockey game. The Flyers were firing on all cylinders. Brian Elliott looks strong, and three players wound up scoring 2 goals in the game. And as the Flyers come away with an 8-2 victory, let's get into the game. The Flyers would strike first as Sean Couturier gets the Flyers on the board with his first of the game. Not that much longer. Jacob Vrana from the Washington Capitals will tie the game up at 1. And then Scott Laughton would give the Flyers a 2-1 lead heading into the second period, as the Flyers would hold a 2-1 lead, and the onslaught would continue. Wayne Simmonds, choo-choo, all aboard the Wayne train. He gets on the board after a nice little nifty move by Jacob Voracek to get the puck over. He shook one of the Capitals out of his boots and slid it over to Wayne Simmonds, who pots it past the backup for the Washington Capitals. It wasn't Braden Holtby. I can't remember who the goaltender was for Gardner or something like that for the Washington Capitals. As the Flyers have a 3-1 lead. But Claude Giroux would get his first of the game as Couturier takes a shot, and Giroux is able to tip it past the goaltender, and the Flyers have a 4-1 lead. But about 13 seconds after that, Nicholas Backstrom gets a breakaway, and he gets the puck past Brian Elliott, and the game is now 4-2 Flyers. But Valtteri Filppula will get the Flyers back to their 3-goal lead back as he pots in his third of the year, and the Flyers hold a 5-2 lead going into the third period. Then we go back into the third period. Scott Laughton comes down the rush, gets off a wicked wrist shot, and gets it past the goaltender, as the Flyers now have a 6-2 lead. Much later in the period, Sean Couturier takes the puck around the net, dips it, and puts the puck past the goaltender. They reviewed it, but it did count, as he was able to stuff it past Bouchard and tried to stop it from going in, but the puck clearly crossed the line, and the Flyers now have a 7-2 lead. And then finally, Claude Giroux rounds out the scoring as he gets the puck in the slot and lets a wrist shot go to cap off the scoring, as the Flyers come away with an 8-2 victory against the Metropolitan Division rivals. Very surprising that the Flyers were able to manhandle the Caps in this game. Let's get to the stats in this hockey game as I switch over. All right, your stats in this hockey game. You can see it. Shots on goal. The Flyers, Capitals had 23 to the Flyers 37. So the Flyers dominated the shots on goal department. There you go. The Flyers dominated the shots on goal department. Face-off percentage, the Flyers once again didn't dominate, but they won that handily. They were 53%. The Capitals 47%. The power play, Capitals did not connect at all, 0 for 2, and that was a key figure. The Flyers were able to keep the Capitals in check with their power play, and with the penalty kill, the Flyers did an outstanding job, and the Flyers were able to connect 1 for 2 on the power play. It's the first power play goal they've had since since the first game of the season. They did go through an 0 for there for the longest time. Penalties and minutes, 14 and 14 for both teams. Kind of even out. There were a couple of 10 minutes misconducts in there. And giveaways, 11 for the Capitals and 11 for the Flyers. So basically, even in the giveaway department, the ice was kind of choppy. So the puck was kind of bouncing off guys' sticks, and the pucks were giving away a little bit. I think it's because the ice hasn't been adamant used in about 2 or 3 weeks since the last home preseason game. So it needs to get acclimated, and it needs to get worn in again like it has been. Wells Fargo Center ice is pretty good ice. Your goal scorers for the Capitals, Vrana and Backstrom, and for the Flyers, Couturier with 2, Laughton with 2, Simmonds with 1, Giroux with 2, and Valtteri Filppula with 1, as the Flyers come away with an 8-2 victory. Couple days off now that we have. The Flyers have a couple days off. Come back right back at it on Tuesday night as the Florida Panthers come to town. My three stars of the game. Sean Couturier got the Flyers on the board first with his 2 goals. Scott Lawton with his 2 goals. He's my number 2 star, and number 3 star is Claude Giroux with his 2 goals. Like I said, 2 days off coming up here. The Flyers do play. They play Tuesday night as the Florida Panthers come to town. It is a 7 o'clock start, and that game is on NBC Sports Philadelphia. So regional coverage. 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time as the Florida Panthers come to town. I just got to continue on the success. You pumped in 8 goals against a team that is arguably supposed to be the President's winners, who are just kind of okay this year. I mean, I know how well the Ovechkin's been doing the first week of the season. I mean, it's 9 goals in 5 games is pretty amazing. But you were able to hold him in check last night. He didn't get any goals, and he wasn't able to load up that gun on the power play off to the right side. Just got to continue to play solid hockey. Hopefully, we can just come away with a win against the Florida Panthers. I was able to catch a Phantoms game over the weekend, actually on Friday the 13th, as I went up to Wilkes-Barre Scranton to go see the Phantoms play the Penguins up there. Fortunately, the Phantoms lost 5-0, but I was just there to see certain guys like Philippe Myers and Sammy Moran. They're on a defense pairing together. So future's bright for the Flyers. Like I said, just got to, coming away with an 8-2 victory tonight is very, 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 very promising. This team's going to be fun to watch this year. We're only, we're 3-2 and 0 right now, only 5 games in, but it's a long season. We got a long way to go here. So once again, Flyers come away with a 8-2 victory. Back at it Tuesday night against the Florida Panthers as they come to town to the Wells Fargo Center. That game is at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 4 o'clock for those who live on the West Coast. That game will be on NBC Sports Philadelphia for those who live in the Philadelphia area. My friends, good night and good hockey.